Well, I am so excited to see all of you guys here virtually today, to have you joining me here on the mat. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Ashley. I'll be leading today's practice. If at any point in time you feel like you can't hear my voice very well, or if the music's a little too loud, you're always welcome to just chime in on the mic, or you can shoot me a chat and I can always adjust those volumes for you guys. If you are ready to begin, let's go ahead and actually start in a standing position. That way we're going to have a little bit more of an active class today. So as you make your way into Tadasana Mountain Pose, go ahead and come to the center of your mat. Bring your feet about hips width distance apart. I'm going to get the music going. Okay, I will join you there. So here in Tadasana, think about keeping a soft bend in the knees. Maybe take a few rolls of the shoulders, a few times up towards the ears, down the length of the spine, and then gently settle the shoulders down the length of your spine. Put the palms of the hands up to the front side of the room. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and we'll start off with some cleansing breaths. Breathe it out through the mouth. Nice audible exhale. Take a deep breath in through the nose again, and audible exhale out through the mouth. Last one. Nice deep belly breathing. Exhale out through the mouth. And then from here, start to find your breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Go ahead and start to close down the eyes, shutting down the gaze. As you breathe in for 1, 2, 3, and out for 3, 2, 1. Just use this time to start to quiet down the mind, calm down the thoughts, and really connect to your breath here. Enjoying this Tadasana, this mindful meditation at the beginning of our practice. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, and out for 3, 2, 1. With every breath in, you feel that air flow in through the nose, feel it fill up the lungs, lifting that spinal column. And as you exhale, think about letting go of some tension in your body. Let go of some tension from your mind. Choosing instead to allow yourself this time to give back to yourself, to give to your practice. Feel the weight of your feet just rooting firmly through to your mat, connecting down deep into the earth. Try to let go of any worries, any stress that you may have with each and every exhale. And if you would like to, you're more than welcome to set an intention here at the beginning of our practice. This intention or goal can be something just as simple as maintaining this steady, even-paced breathing, this steady, even-paced breath throughout your practice today. Maybe you'd like to set an intention of being a little bit more mindful of your movement, being more mindful of your breathing. Or maybe your goal today is to just enjoy this time on your mat, to find a little bit more peace, a little bit more lightness in your heart. Whatever that intention may be, see if you can draw your energy to that one focus, that one thought. Breathe it in and exhale, let it go. Whenever you're ready from here, begin to open up the eyes and let's start to move into our pranayama breath practice. So on your next breath in, we'll sweep the fingertips up towards the sky, press the palms of the hands together, and as you exhale, release the fingertips back down to the base of the hips. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky, and exhale, release the fingertips back down to your hips. If you'd like to add a little movement through the neck, you can inhale, lift the gaze up towards the ceiling to match the movement of the fingertips, and exhale, release the gaze down towards the earth. Inhale to lift, and exhale, release. 2 more deep breath cycles here. Inhale to lift, exhale to release. Last cycle. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, release. On that next breath in, go ahead and sweep the fingertips back up towards the sky, finding an extended mountain. Think about drawing biceps back by the ears, index fingers point up towards the sky. And if you'd like to, take a steeple grip here, interlacing your lower 3 fingers, pointing index fingers to the ceiling. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, gently fold over to the left side of the room. I'm going to mirror you here. Think about keeping shoulders and hips square to the front, lifting that chin away from the chest. And instead of thinking about compressing through this left side of the body, I want you to focus a little bit more on lengthening through the right side of the body. When you're ready, we'll inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, gently side bend it to the opposite side. So now we're lengthening across this left side of our body. Keeping the chin lifted away from the chest. Lift the elbows up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. Exhale, and fold a little deeper. Inhale. We lift back up to the ceiling. Exhale, we'll swan back down. Release the fingertips all the way down to the mat in front of your toes. Coming into our first forward fold. Feel free to bend the knees as much as you would like to here. And that way you can let the belly rest on the thighs. With forward fold, think about reaching the crown of the head towards the earth. Gently easing some tension out of the hamstrings. We don't want to lock out our legs here. Instead, have that bend in the knees so that way you can maintain an open heart. You can think about lifting the hips a little higher towards the sky. Fingertips can stay resting on the mat or on a block, or if you'd like to, you can even reach for opposite elbows. Create a box for the crown of your head and maybe gently sway to the left and sway to the right. Using this time to ease some tension out of that low back here in forward fold. Deep breaths in, steady, even pace, breathing out. And whenever you're ready, release those 10 fingertips back down to the mat in front of your toes. Let's place the palms of the hands into the mat. Step your left foot back and then step your right foot back, moving into our first high plank. Think about stacking shoulders over the wrists. Heels are drawn to the back side of the room. Another great option to take is to release the knees down to the mat and take your plank here so that way you can focus on maintaining this neutral spinal alignment. We're using this time just to start to fire up through that core a little bit more. Think about lifting that navel up towards that spinal column. You're gripping the mat with all 10 fingers so that way the weight isn't in the wrists. Whenever you're ready, inhale, gently lean that plank forward, even if the knees are on the mat. Exhale, we're lowering down into low plank, and then release the belly all the way down towards the mat. Release the tops of the feet into the earth for those who are in that modified plank. From here, keep the chin rested at the center of your mat. Can you hug the elbows along the ribcage? Rotate the shoulders down the length of the spine. Take a deep breath in through the nose, keeping tops of the feet planted into the mat. Gently lift the shoulders and the head to face the front side of the room. The palms of the hands are resting on the mat. This is your baby cobra. Your chin is parallel to the earth. And if you'd like to, you can even hover the palms of the hands slightly off of the mat. Remember to keep breathing. Deep breath in on that next exhale. Gently release one cheek down to the mat. Let yourself rest here. Nice gentle stretch through the neck. We're going to move into strong cobra next. Whenever you're ready, chin comes back to the center of the mat. Hug the elbows by the ribcage. Rotate the shoulders down the length of the spine. Keep the tops of the feet rooted into the mat. Take a deep breath in to gently heel the head and heart off of the mat until the elbows are bent about 90 degrees. You're going to feel this fire up the backside of the arms. Feel starting to engage through the biceps, a little bit more through the triceps, and just opening our heart. Think about letting that energy flow from your heart to the front side of the room. Breathing in. And as you exhale, release down to the mat. Let the opposite cheek come to rest this time. We'll move into full cobra next with the option to turn that into up dog. So when you're ready from here, bring the chin back to the center of your mat. Hug the elbows in by the ribcage. Rotate the shoulders down the length of the spine, keeping the tops of the feet rooted into the mat. Take a deep breath in to lift again the head and the heart. The belly peels off of the mat this time as well until the arms are almost fully locked out. We would never want to lock out through the joints, so keep a slight bend in the elbows here. This is a great place to be in your full cobra. If you'd like to turn this into up dog, using your next inhale, gently hover the thighs about an inch off of the mat. From here, plant your toes into the mat. Inhale, we'll lift the hips towards the sky. Exhale, release the heels down towards the mat for our first down dog. You feel free to pedal out the legs in your down dog here, bending one knee and then bending the opposite. Whatever leg is extended in down dog, think about drawing that leg's heel into the mat to get a little bit of a hamstring release. Remember to keep breathing. You're gripping the mat with all 10 fingers here, so that way the weight of your body isn't being placed on your wrists. You always want to try to avoid that. Whenever you're ready, come back to your neutral, steady, center down dog. If you feel like your hamstrings are tight today, another great option to take is to take a slight bend in the knees to maintain that inverted V shape, to maintain that neutral spinal column instead. If Just take this time, find which variation feels good for you. And we're just gonna hold this down dog for 3 more breath cycles. Getting a little bit more warmed up in our practice. Nice steady breaths, in through the nose and out through the nose. 1 more breath in, and as you exhale, release the knees to about the width of your mat, bring big toes to touch, and then we're gonna gently walk the hips back towards the heels, finding our wide stance child's pose. If you find that the wrists are a little fatigued, you're welcome to take some circles of the wrists. You can also place the backside of the hands on the mat, have a slight bend in the elbows, and just let the forehead gently rest on the mat here. Think about maintaining that neutral spinal column. The hips also don't have to come all the way down onto the heels. If it's more comfortable to keep the hips slightly lifted, that's a great place to be. With the belly fall in between the thighs, you should feel this gently opening up through your hip flexors and gently stretching out through the inner thighs as well. Use this time to reconnect with your breath. Deep breath in and exhale it out. On your next inhale, we're going to start to lift the hips off of the heels, coming into our tabletop position. Adjust the knees to come underneath the mat. Adjust the knees to come underneath your hips. Keep the shoulders stacked over the wrists in a nice neutral position here. On your next breath in, we'll lift the head and heart, draw the eyes up towards the ceiling, sink through the belly for cow. Exhale, we'll round out through the spine, press up through the shoulders, tuck the chin in towards the chest for cat. Inhale to move into your cow. And exhale, moving that spine in the opposite direction, coming into cat. 1 more time. Inhale to find cow. And exhale to find cat. And then let's come back into our neutral tabletop position. I'd like you to use this time, these next few breaths, just to find some organic movement in your body. Maybe it feels good to move the hips in a clockwise motion, or nice big circles counterclockwise. If you prefer, you can maybe just shake the tail from side to side. Maybe shake the head yes, shake the head no. This time is for you to find whatever it is that feels good in your body, whatever it is that's calling and speaking to you today. And then whenever you're ready, we'll all return to our neutral tabletop position with shoulders stacked over the wrists, knees underneath the hips. Whenever you're ready from here, on that next inhale, we'll lift right arm in line with right ear. As you exhale, extend that left leg to the back edge of your mat. You can stay here to gain your spinal balance, or as you breathe in, lift that left leg about in line with the left hip. You want to avoid overarching that low back, so instead, think about lifting that belly button up towards your spinal column, using your core strength to maintain your balance. Breathe in and breathe out. 1 more breath in, and then we exhale, release into your tabletop position. Let's take that to the other side. Inhale, lift your left arm in line with left ear. The eyes are drawn down towards the mat. Extend through the back right toes, and then we inhale, lift that right leg in line with right hip. Again, you want to avoid overarching through that low back. Instead, can you draw that belly button up towards the spine and engage your core strength? Remember to keep breathing. And when you're ready, exhale, release back into our tabletop position. Let's plant toes in towards the mat. Inhale, start to lift through the hips. Exhale, release through the heels, down dog. And again, you can always bend the knees in down dog, and that feels more comfortable today. Take this time to really connect to your breath, check in with the shoulders, make sure they're not hunched up towards the ears. You create some lengthened space for your neck instead. On that next breath in, go ahead and walk the feet up to meet the hands, coming back into our forward fold. Again, bending the knees as much as you'd like to let that belly rest on the thighs. Think about keeping shoulders away from the ears and just letting yourself breathe here. On that next inhale, let's move into our first halfway lift. Bring the palms of the hands to rest on the shins, creating a strong flat back here. Think about keeping shoulders away from the ears. Instead of locking out through the knees, have a slight bend in the knees while you press the hips towards the back side of the room. As you exhale, release back down into that forward fold. On your next inhale, reverse swan dive, sweep fingertips up towards the sky, extend the mountain, press the palms of the hands together. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center with the feet about hips width distance apart. Take a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, hinge through the hips, bending through the knees, incline the upper body about 45 degrees, moving into your first chair. Now a great balance check in chair to make sure your weight is shifted in towards the heels and in towards the hips is to lift all 10 toes gently off of the mat. If you feel comfortable here, slowly release the toes back down to the earth. Hands can stay at heart center, or for those who have a little bit more energy you'd like to burn today, you can lift fingertips up towards the sky. Remember to keep breathing. Even though we may hold our poses, we never want to hold that breath. With every exhale, can you lower the seat another inch closer to the earth? And on your next inhale, we'll rise back up to stand in Tadasana. Beautiful job. I'm going to pivot over towards you. And let's add a little balance work in now. Start to shift your weight over to the standing left leg. I'm going to mirror you here. As you take that next breath in, lift the opposite right leg 90 degrees off of the mat. Hands can stay at heart center, or if you'd like to check the alignment of your hips, bring your hands onto your hip bones, and you should find that the fingertips are about parallel to each other. The right toes are gently curled in towards the shin. Breathe in and breathe out. On your next inhale, gently open that right knee over towards the side of the room, and then you place that right palm of the foot on the lower calf, down on the ankle for a kickstand, or you can bring that palm of the foot up towards the inner thigh for your tree pose. See if you can keep shoulders and hips pointed to the front side of the room. Hands are at heart center. Breathe in. And as you exhale, release that palm of the foot off of that standing base leg. Inhale, we'll bring that knee back to the midline. Exhale, set that right foot down on towards the mat and gently shift your weight over to the standing right foot now. On that next inhale, when you're ready, we'll slowly lift left leg 90 degrees off of the mat. And again, check in with the hips. We don't want this left hip lifted above the right. You want the hips to be about parallel and in neutral alignment to each other. Left toes are gently curled. Hands can stay at heart center. Try to focus your gaze on something still and unmoving. And on that next inhale, we'll open that left knee over towards the side of the room. Exhale, moving into any variation of tree that you'd like. You can place that foot at kickstand, on the lower calf, or all the way up on that left or right inner thigh. We'll avoid placing that palm of the foot on that knee though, because it will add a lot of unnecessary pressure onto that standing base leg. We always want to protect our joints. Allow yourself this time to breathe, and when you're ready, on that next breath out, we'll release that palm of the foot over towards the side of the room. Inhale, bring that left knee back into the midline. Exhale, sit that palm of the foot back down towards the mat. Feet are hips width distance apart. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, hinge through the hips, bend through the knees, finding your chair. Beautiful job. And of course, hands can always stay at heart center. And you can gently lift them up towards the sky. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, let's release into our forward fold. Fingertips come down towards the mat. The crown of the head reaches towards the earth. Nice soft bending knees, so that way your belly can rest on the thighs. If you ever find like your shoulders are hunching forward up towards the ears, I want you to take a moment, just gently rotate them down the length of the spine. Think about creating that lengthened space for your neck. So that way we can kind of work to counteract that sensation of hunching over at our desk most of our days, right? Let yourself breathe. We're gonna move into some hamstring stretches next, working into pyramid pose. So whenever you're ready from here, bring all 10 fingers in front of the toes. Gently press up into the fingertips for a little bit more of a lift, keeping your right foot rooted where it's at. Take a deep breath in through the nose, slightly bend through that knee. As you exhale, step the left foot to the back edge of your mat, just about 2 to 3 feet away from that right foot. The fingertips can stay lifted into the mat here. If this right hamstring is really tight, you can start off with a deeper bend in that right knee. Make sure your left hip is pointed down towards the earth. And as we breathe in, I want you to think about drawing that right thigh to the back side of the room. Exhale, ease that tension out. Inhale, press right thigh back. Exhale, soften one more time. Inhale, press that right thigh back just until you find that point of tension for you. And we'll stay here for 2 more breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Try to keep that neck in a neutral position as well. Shoulders are away from the ears. And whenever you're ready, as you exhale, bend through that front right knee, step that left foot up back to meet that right foot. On that next inhale, let's take a halfway lift, finding that nice neutral, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, keeping the fingertips planted towards the mat in front of all 10 toes. Let's take that to the other side. Whenever you're ready, keep the left foot rooted where it's at. Deep breath in, slightly bend through left knee. Exhale, step the right foot 2 to 3 feet away from that left foot. It should feel as if your feet are like two little trains going on their own train tracks. Keeping the fingertips pressed into the mat. Again, if this hamstring's a little tight, start off with a deeper bend in that left knee. As you breathe in, gently press left thigh to the back side of the room. Exhale, ease that tension out. Inhale, we press the left thigh back. Exhale, ease the tension out. And from here, inhale, gently extend that left thigh until you find that point of most resistance. Check in and make sure that right thigh is still pointed down towards the earth. It's not lifted up towards the sky. And just let yourself breathe. Feel that hamstring stretch and release here. And as you take that next exhale, bend through the left knee. Step right foot up to meet the left. Place all 10 fingertips down and towards the mat. Let's step the left foot back and then the right foot back for our high plank. Again, you can either maintain this high plank or you can release the knees down towards the mat. On that next breath in, we'll lean that plank forward. Exhale, low plank. Inhale for up dog or cobra, and then exhale, down dog. That was our first vinyasa for our first half series. Feel free to head on the legs if you'd like to. Let's take another vinyasa here just to keep that core engaged. Release into your down dog. On that next breath in, shift your way forward. Find high point. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog, and exhale. Down dog, beautiful job. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, feel free to release the knees down towards the mat, maybe over towards the edges of the mat, big toes to touch, press the hips back towards the heels, child's pose. You can always just let that forehead rest on the mat if you prefer. You can let one cheek rest on the mat, just stretch it out through the neck. Just remember to let the opposite cheek come to rest on the mat as well to bring balance to your practice. You soften the shoulders, down away from the ears. Maybe sink the belly closer down towards the mat. Let the hips rest on the heels. On that next breath in, let's go ahead and lift the hips off of the heels, bringing palms of the hands underneath the shoulders, adjusting knees to come underneath the hips. The tops of the feet can stay planted in towards the mat, or you can keep the toes tucked for a little bit more support. Whenever you're ready, deep breath in through the nose, sink through the belly, lift through the head and heart for cow. Exhale, round out through the spine, chin to chest, press up through the shoulders for cat. Inhale for cow, and exhale for cat. One more cycle here. Inhale for cow, and we exhale, find cat. And then let's release into our neutral tabletop position, plant the toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift the hips towards the sky. Exhale, release the heels down towards the earth. Beautiful job, everyone. On that next breath in, let's start to lift that right leg up to the sky directly behind you, finding three-legged dog. So you don't have to lift that right leg very high. Just maybe 2 feet off the ground is a great place to be. I want you to focus more on keeping that right thigh pointed down towards the earth. Right toes are curled in towards the shin. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, we're going to draw right knee towards the nose. Place that right foot in between both palms of the hands for your first runner's lunge. Now that right knee is going to be bent 90 degrees over right ankle. Your back left heel is lifted. If you'd like to adjust and narrow that stance, this is a great time to make that adjustment. From here, we're going to move into our low lunge by exhaling, releasing left knee down towards the mat. You can keep left toes tucked. As you inhale, use your core strength to lift the upper body parallel to the front side of the room, and our fingertips will reach up towards the sky. Even here, the shoulders will have a tendency to hunch up towards the ceiling. Can you soften shoulders down the length of the spine? Feel that energy pouring from your heart to the front side of the room. Breathe in through the nose, and as you exhale, release left hand to the inner edge of that right foot down onto the mat. Keep right fingertips lifted. Draw your gaze over to the right side of the room for a little heart opener. Breathe in through the nose. And then exhale, release right hand down to the mat, framing that front right foot once again. We're gonna turn that into crescent lunges. When you're ready, keeping left toes tucked, inhale, gently lift that left knee off of the mat, right knee stays bent 90 degrees, over right ankle, maybe draw the eyes to the front side of the room, give yourself a little smile. From here, activate that core strength, inhale, slowly rise up until the upper body's parallel to the front side of the room. Fingertips can stay lifted or they can always come to heart center. Beautiful job. Find that strength in your body today. When you're ready, inhale, we'll all lift the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat, to the inner edge of that right foot. Right fingertips stay lifted. Nice little revolved crescent lunge here. And then let's exhale, release that right hand down to frame that front right foot. We're gonna work into a pigeon pose next. So whenever you're ready, gently walk this right palm of the foot over towards this left corner of the mat. Tuck the right toes in towards your left hip crease. Release left knee to the mat, top of the left foot plants towards the earth. You should be able to feel a little lift underneath the sit bones here. I'm gonna pivot this way, just so you can see my alignment a little bit better. You wanna avoid rolling over into this right hip. Make sure your weight is centered in between both of your hips, slight bend in the elbows. If this feels good here, go ahead and exhale slowly. Lower down onto the forearms. Maybe let the forehead rest on the mat if you prefer. You can even stack the palms of the hands, or you can stack two fists together. It's a little bit more lift, a little bit more support. You should feel this gently opening out through this right hip flexor here. You have a lot of range of motion in your hips. You can start to bring this right shin a little bit more parallel to the front edge of your mat as you lower back down into that sleeping pigeon. And I want you to just enjoy this time, to find this stretch, to connect to your breath, and maybe check back in with that intention you had set at the beginning of our practice. Listen to your body. We don't want to find any pain in our practice. You may find a little bit of tension as those muscles relax, as you get a little bit deeper into these poses. But we don't want to feel any pain. Whenever you're ready from here, go ahead and inhale. Walk back up onto the palms of the hands. Make sure the palms of the hands are about shoulders width apart. We'll plant left toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift that left knee off of the mat. Use a little bit of core strength here. Lift that right knee by right elbow. Exhale, extend that right foot to the back edge of the room. High plank. Inhale, lean your plank forward. Exhale, low plank. Inhale for up dog. And exhale, down dog. Beautiful job. Whenever you're ready, we're going to take this to the other side. So making sure that you're gripping the mat with all 10 fingers to start. We'll inhale, lift left leg up towards the sky directly behind you. And again, keep left thigh pointed down towards the earth. Left toes are curled in towards the shin. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, draw left knee to the nose. Set left foot in between the palms of the hands for your runner's lunge. That left knee is bent 90 degrees over left ankle. That back right heel is lifted. Feel that strength in that back right leg. And then exhale. Release right knee down towards the mat. You can keep the toes tucked, or you can plant the tops of the feet towards the mat, your choice. Inhale, we'll lift the upper body to face the front side of the room. Check in with the shoulders here, make sure they're not hunched up towards the sky, looking soft and down the length of the spine. Breathe in, and as you exhale, release the right palm of the hand down to the mat, to the inner edge of your left foot. Left fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. Think about keeping the arms in line with the shoulders. Opening the heart to the left side of the room. And as you exhale, release left palm of the hand. Frame that front left foot. Your eyes go back to the front side of the room. Let's plant right toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift that back right knee off of the mat. If you find that the stance is a little too wide, you can always adjust that stance to make it a little bit more narrow, whatever feels good for you. And then from here, take a deep breath in, engage that core strength. Lift the upper body, parallel to the front side of the room. Finding crescent lunge. Your left knee is still bent 90 degrees. The back right heel is lifted. And again, you can always bring hands to heart center if that feels better today. Just allow yourself this time to breathe, to enjoy your practice. And then we'll inhale, press fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand down to the mat, to the inner edge of that left foot. Left fingertips stay lifted up towards the sky here. Nice neutral position in the neck. Enjoy the view over to the left side of the room. Another deep breath in and then exhale. Left hand comes down to frame that front left foot. And let's move into that pigeon pose to the other side. So you can stay lifted in the fingertips while you walk that left foot over to the right hip crease. Gently soften right into the mat. Plant the top of the right foot in towards the earth. Make sure you're not rolling over into this left hip, but we're staying steady and centered in the middle. Whenever you feel comfortable here, gently exhale, come down onto the forearms. They can stay just here on the forearms today if you'd like. You can also release all the way down, let the forehead rest on the mat. You can rest on 2 stacked palms or maybe 2 stacked fists. And again, if you have a little bit more range of motion, you like to increase that hip flexibility, you can work to bring this left shin a little bit more parallel to the front edge of your mat as you come back down onto the mat. You guys are doing so wonderfully today. Make sure you're using this time to slow the breath back down. See if you can find that breath breathing in for 1, 2, 3, and out 4. 3, 2, 1. Whenever you're ready from here, let's go ahead and press back up onto the palms of the hands. Make sure the hands are about shoulders width apart. Gently maybe rotate the shoulders down the length of the spine. Plant right toes in towards the mat. Lift your right knee off. Inhale, hover left knee by left elbow. Exhale, extend left leg back, and you can always release the knees towards the mat. From here, inhale, lean your plank forward. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, slide out through the mouth. Release some heat there with that cleansing breath. Another deep breath in through the nose. Another audible exhale out through the mouth. Last one here. Breathe it in through the nose. Audible exhale out through the mouth as you release the knees down towards the mat. Big toes to touch. Hips press back towards the heels. Child's pose. If there's any tightness at all in the wrists, feel free to flip the palms of the hands up to the front side of the room and gently place the back side of the hands in towards the mat. You can also rotate the wrists clockwise and counterclockwise. If your shoulders feel tight at all, feel free to turn this into embryo pose by sweeping the fingertips towards the heels and let the forehead rest on the mat. Let yourself be at ease here. Just enjoy this time to listen to the rhythm of your inhale and your exhale. Feel that lightness in your heart. Let go of everything else. Letting yourself connect to your mat and thinking even further, connecting to the earth. Use this as a chance to slow the breath back down. And then whenever you're ready, for those in embryo, we'll bring our fingertips back towards the front edge of the mat. We'll all return to child's pose. As you take that next breath in, gently lift the hips off of the heels, coming back into your tabletop position. Use this time to find that organic movement in your body. You can move through a few rounds of cow and cat. Maybe you'd like those hip circles instead. Maybe you like to just wag this tail from side to side, or shake the head yes, shake the head no. This is a judgment-free zone. It's just this time for you to let go of any little bits of tension still in that spinal column. If you're letting go, there's a little bit of tension still heavy on the mind. And then whenever you're ready, we'll return back to our neutral spinal position in that tabletop position. We're going to get off the wrist here in a moment and working into a little bit more balance. So go ahead and plant the toes in towards the mat. Inhale, let's lift the hips towards the sky. Exhale, release the heels towards the earth. The heels don't ever have to come to touch the mat. They can if you'd like to. Take a deep breath in through the nose to walk, step, or flip the feet up to meet the hands. Forward fold. Beautiful job. Let's add a little shoulder stretch in here. Adding a little shoulder line. Whenever you're ready, bending the knees as much as you'd like to so that way the belly's resting on the thighs. Keeping the crown of the head reaching towards the earth. As you inhale, sweep just the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Make a fist with the palms of the hands, interlacing your fingers here at the small of your back. And on that next breath in, gently extend the arms up towards the ceiling, keeping the palms pressed together for a forward fold with a little shoulder bond. Remember to keep breathing. Anytime you are inverted like this, it's very important that you maintain that steady inhale in through the nose, that steady exhale out through the nose. You don't want to hold our breaths. And then on that next exhale, gently soften down through the arms, release that line, let the fingertips come in front of the toes. Inhale, find your halfway lift, creating that strong flat back. Shoulders are away from the ears, pressing the hips to the back side of the room. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Sweep the fingertips back up towards the ceiling. Make a steeple grip with the fingers, pressing palms of the hands towards the sky. Index fingers reach up towards the ceiling. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale, gently fold over to the left side of the room, keeping shoulders and hips square to front. We'll inhale, come back to the center, and exhale over to the opposite side. Let's inhale to the center. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center, coming back into mountain pose, Tadasana. Checking in with the feet to make sure their hips width distance apart. Let's start moving into a little bit more balance work. Start to shift your weight over to that standing left foot. I'll do my best to mirror you here. Whenever you're ready, inhale, lift that opposite right leg 90 degrees off of the mat. Same thing here. If you'd like to check the alignment of your hips, bring the fingertips to rest on the mat, or rest on the hips for a moment. Make sure the fingertips are gently pointed towards each other. Whenever you feel ready, bring hands back to heart center. And from here, we're gonna inhale, lift the fingertips up towards the sky, challenging our balance in a little bit of a different way to start. Breathe in through the nose. If you'd like to, exhale, add a toe tap in with that left leg. Inhale, lift, or right leg. Inhale to lift, exhale, toe tap. One more inhale to lift, one more exhale to toe tap. Inhale, bring that right knee back into start, hands back to heart center. Take a deep breath in, and then we'll exhale, set that right palm of the foot down towards the mat, maybe shake some tension out of that standing, balancing left leg. Bring the feet back to hips width distance apart, and then start to shift your weight over to the standing right leg. As you inhale, we'll lift the opposite left leg 90 degrees off of the mat. Keep the left toes gently flexed. Hands are at heart center to start. Whenever you feel steady and ready, inhale, lift the fingertips up towards the sky. Make sure this left hip isn't lifted higher up from the right. Make sure the hips are in a neutral position. And again, from here, if you'd like to add those toe taps in, release the toes towards the mat. Inhale to lift. Exhale, toe tap. Inhale to lift one more time. Exhale to tap. Inhale to stork. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then from here, gently set that left palm of the foot down towards the mat. Maybe shake some tension out of that balancing right leg. We have one more little bit of balance variation to work through. Whenever you're ready, start to shift that weight back into that standing left foot. From here, shift the weight over to that left leg. Inhale, lift right knee 90 degrees off of the mat. Make sure the hips are in a neutral position. Hands are at heart center to start. Whenever you're ready, inhale, press the fingertips up towards the sky. You can stay here and stork today, or if you'd like to, exhale, hollow out through the upper body. Bring all 10 fingers to interlace underneath the palm of your right foot. If you enjoy this stretch here, this is a great place to be. If you'd like to take it one step further, moving into standing forehead to knee. Take a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, gently extend that right palm of the foot towards the front side of the room. Keep your gaze to the front side of the room. Breathe in and breathe out. And whenever you're ready, gently bend through that balancing right knee. We'll release the fingertips off the palm of the foot. Inhale, rise back up to standing stork. Exhale, release that palm of the foot towards the mat and shake out some tension out of that balancing leg. Beautiful job. If you find yourself coming out of any of these balance poses, it's okay, it's all right. Just take your time to move back into the pose with control. When you're ready, meet me back into Tadasana, feet or hips width distance apart, and we'll take that to the other side now. So shift your weight over to that standing right leg. Inhale, let's lift left leg 90 degrees off of the mat. Make sure hips are in a neutral position, left toes are gently curled in towards the shin. You can stay here, or again, you can inhale, lift the fingertips up towards the sky. You can stay here too. If you'd like to, you can exhale, hollow out through the upper body. Bring all 10 fingers to interlace underneath that right palm, left palm of the foot. Beautiful job. This is a great place to be. If you'd like to try standing forehead to knee, take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, gently extend that palm of the foot towards the front side of the room. Your gaze is to the front. And again, if you find yourself coming out of this balance pose, it's okay. Just take your time, move with control before you come back into that standing forehead to knee. Whenever you're ready from here, bend through that left leg. Use that core strength to inhale. Rise back up to standing stork. Exhale, set that palm of the foot down towards the mat. Hands come back to heart center. Beautiful job. Take a deep breath in. Press just the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive down. Move into your forward fold. You're welcome to bend the knees as much as necessary. If you'd like to, reach for opposite elbows. Let yourself sway to the left. Let yourself sway to the right. Remember to take deep breaths. If you'd like to, you can even take cleansing breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and exhaling it out through the mouth. I'll help you to release some heat. And then whenever you're ready, the fingertips come to rest into the mat. Point the palms of the hands in towards the mat. Gently step left foot back, and then step right foot back. One more high plank, you got this. Inhale, in that plank forward. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. One more breath in, and exhale, release the knees all the way down towards the mat, big toes to touch. Press the hips back towards the heels. Child's pose. So we have made it through the bulk of our flow today. We're going to start to work to wind down our practice. We're going to use this time to focus a little bit more on stretching out any tension that you may find in the body. And as always, if you prefer, if your shoulders are tight, you can turn your child's pose into embryo by letting the fingertips come towards the back side of the room. Allow yourself this time to breathe, to cool down the body, to cool the breath back down. Beautiful job. And then whenever you're ready from here, let's go ahead and bring the fingertips back to the front side of the room. We're going to start with a threaded needle today, just to ease a little bit more tension out of the shoulders. Whenever you're ready, keeping your left fingertips rooted in towards the mat. As you inhale, lift your right fingertips up towards the sky. Take a moment, open your heart over towards the right side of the room. As you exhale, thread that right arm underneath that left shoulder. Gently let that right forehead rest on the mat. And if you'd like to, you can lift the hips off of the heels, adding just a little bit more of your own body weight as added resistance to open up through this right shoulder. Keep the right fingertips flipped up towards the sky. Let yourself breathe. Enjoy your threaded needle. And then from here, on that next breath in, gently unthread the needle. Lift right fingertips back all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, right hand down to the center of your mat, child's pose. Let's take that to the other side. As you inhale, lift the left fingertips up towards the sky, open the left heart over towards the left side of the room. Exhale, thread left arm underneath right shoulder. Gently let the left temple rest on the mat. Left fingertips lift up towards the sky. The hips can stay resting on the heels. If you'd like to, you can gently lift the hips slightly off the heels, just for a little added resistance. When you're ready from here, gently begin to unthread the needle. Lift left fingertips back up overhead. Exhale, hands to hearts or hands back down to the mat, center, child's pose. From here, begin to walk the fingertips in a little bit closer towards the knees until you're up in an easy seated hero's pose. With this hero's pose, the hips will stay resting on the heels. See if you can bring the inner thighs to touch. And we'll start off with the palms of the hands, gently Resting on the inner thighs here, let your shoulders and heart face the front side of the room. We're going to start by just easing some tension out of the shoulders a little bit more. Maybe take some rolls of the shoulders to the front side of the room, and then roll the shoulders in the opposite direction. And then whenever you're ready, just gently soften the shoulders down the length of the spine, palms of the hands rest on the inner thighs. Take a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, gently release the chin to tuck down towards the chest, and we'll stay here for a breath cycle, easing some tension out of the neck. On your next breath in, lift the chin up towards the sky. Open up through the throat. Allow yourself this moment to just be a little bit more vulnerable in your practice. And then exhale, tuck the chin towards the chest. Finding that connection to your heart. And then one more breath in to lift the chin up towards the sky. To open yourself up. And to ease that tension out of the neck, out of the shoulders and upper back. And then when you're ready from here, exhale, release the chin to a neutral position, gazing in front of you. Release the fingertips down towards the mat to help you sweep the feet out in front to the front side of the room. Adjusting yourself on the mat if you'd like to. From here, you can point and flex through the toes, release some tension out of the ankles. And then we'll bring the palms of the hands to frame the width of the hips. Bring all 10 toes to gently flex, rotate shoulders down the length of the spine. Make sure you're gripping them out with all 10 fingers. We're gonna move into a staff pose, see some tension out of the low back. Whenever you're ready, grip them out with all 10 fingers. Inhale, we're gonna shift our way into the fingertips and palms of the hands to hover the hips about ½ an inch off of the mat. You should feel no tension at all in that low back. We're releasing any pressure that you may have felt there. And then exhale, soften the seat back down in towards the earth. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, hinging just through the hips. See if you can maintain that neutral spinal alignment. Release the fingertips, maybe down to the ankles to start, or even to the shins, and that feels good today for your seated forward fold. Try to keep the shoulders down away from the ears. If you'd like to get a little bit deeper, with every inhale, see if you can find a little lift, and then exhale and fold a little more. Inhale to lift. And exhale to fold. Another inhale to lift. And exhale, find that point of just a little bit of resistance. And stay here for 2 breath cycles in your seated forward fold. We want to avoid rounding out through the shoulders. Instead, think about keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. Slight bend in the elbows. Stretching it out through the hamstrings, and on your next breath in, we'll lift the fingertips back up towards the sky. As you exhale, gently roll down 1 vertebrae at a time, coming down to lay down on your back, and then reach the fingertips or biceps by the ears for a full body stretch here. Point through the toes. As you inhale, can you grow an inch longer? Exhale, soften that tension out of your shoulders. Another inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, bring palms of the hands down by the hips. That tension away. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and bend through the knees, bring the palms of the feet onto the mat. You walk the heels in just to where you could maybe almost raise the backs of the heels with the fingertips. Whenever you're ready, make sure you're framing the hips with the palms of the hands. Take a deep breath in through the nose. We're going to gently lift the hips off of the mat. Let your shoulder blades support you here for your bridge pose. You should feel no tension at all in that low back. If you do find that there's any tension building up here, I want you to soften the hips down about ½ an inch. Keep the chin gently away from the chest. And again, no pressure on the neck. Let your shoulders support you. Squeeze through the glutes. Breathe in through the nose. And exhale, soften the seat down to the mat. From here, we'll inhale, bring both knees in towards the heart for double wind relieving pose. You can gently flex in, point through the toes. Maybe rotate the ankles clockwise and counterclockwise. And then from here, bring all 10 fingertips to interlace underneath your left kneecap. As you exhale, gently release your right leg down the length of your mat for half wind relieving pose. Now this can be more of a passive stretch, just letting that left knee come wherever is natural for you, or you can make it more active by using your biceps to hug that knee a little closer into the heart. Whenever you're ready, inhale, lift the right fingertips up towards the sky, place your right hand on the outer edge of your left knee, and gently guide that left knee over to the right side of the room. Open your left arm in line with left shoulders, and let your eyes fall opposite the knees. And this left palm of the foot doesn't have to come down onto the mat. You can just let it hang out in space. What's more important is that you keep both shoulder blades resting in the mat here to maintain that openness in your heart. Now with this final twist, we're starting to help aid that digestive system a little bit, helping you get ready for a nice, delicious dinner. And then whenever you're ready from here, inhale, come back to the center of your mat, bring all 10 fingertips to interlace underneath your left kneecap, give the left knee one more hug into the heart, and then exhale, extend that left leg down the length of the mat. Inhale, bring your right knee closer in towards the chest of your heart, all 10 fingertips interlace underneath that right kneecap. Try to keep all 10 toes gently curled in towards the shins, so that way we can protect the knees. And if you'd like to, you can make this more of an active stretch, hugging that knee closer into the heart. Whenever you're ready, inhale, lift the left fingertips towards the sky, place the left hand on the outer edge of your right knee, and we're gonna guide the right knee over to the left side of the room now. Open that right arm in line with right shoulder, let your eyes fall opposite the knees, and again, you can just let this right leg hang out in space if that feels more comfortable, or you can let that right foot come all the way down towards the mat. So you can even open both arms in line with the shoulders. Just make sure both shoulder blades are maintaining that connection to the mat. And when you're ready, inhale, we'll come back to the center of the mat, interlace all 10 fingers underneath your right kneecap. Give that knee one more hug to the heart, and exhale, extend the right leg down the length of your mat. Whenever you're ready from here, we're gonna bend through the knees once again, bringing palms of the feet to rest on the mat with hands anchoring the width of your hips. Soften the shoulder blades into the mat. Think about keeping the upper back flush into the mat. On your next breath in, we'll lift both palms of the feet off of the mat, bringing shins parallel to the earth. Your quads are in line with your hips. Coming into our supine tabletop position. Just supporting our low back here, and then whenever you're ready, gently inhale, extend the legs for legs up the wall. Keeping the quads in line with the hips. Try not to let the tailbone or the sacrum lift off of the mat. The palms of the hands are just framing the width of the hips if you prefer. There can even be a bend in the knees. This is just an opportunity to let that tension melt out of our lower limbs, let it melt out of the legs, while simultaneously supporting that low back. Just let yourself breathe. And then from here, reach the fingertips up towards the toes, bend through the knees, placing the palm or the fingertips around the outer soles of the feet. And let yourself sway to the right and sway to the left for a happy baby. Massaging out that low back. And then whenever you're ready from here, come back to the center of your mat. Bring the palms of the feet to touch. Open the knees towards the side of the room for a bound angle. Breathe in. And whenever you're ready, exhale. Gently release both legs down the length of your mat. Let the palms of the hands come down by the hips. Ease that tension out of the entire body. Let the legs just naturally extend out from their hip sockets. The palms of the hands need to be resting in towards the mat if you'd like to feel a little bit more grounded. Or you can flip the palms of the hands towards the sky. If you'd like to feel a little bit more open, a little bit more acceptance at the end of your practice. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, gently slide out through the mouth. Start to close down the eyes, shutting down your gaze. And you maintain that steady, even-paced breath throughout our practice today. Go ahead and start to release that breath. Come back into your own natural pattern of breathing. Gently breathing in and softly breathing out. Start to let that sensation melt out of the fingertips and out of the toes. Maybe letting the shoulders soften into the mat. Let them melt an inch deeper into the earth. Feel that tension leave through the extremities. Maybe even taking this moment to soften, maybe release that furrow out of the brows. Release the tension in the jaw. Just let the mat hang heavy. Let the tongue just relax in your mouth. Just allow yourself this time to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Start to let those thoughts float out of the mind. Try not to focus on any one thing here. Let your thoughts float by like clouds passing the sky. So you start to create that blank canvas for your mind, making your way into that meditative state of Shavasana today. Nothing else exists but you and your breath on your mat. And whenever you're ready, you can stay in your Shavasana, stay in meditation for as long as you'd like. Whenever you're ready, begin to gently wiggle the fingertips and wiggle the toes, bringing that lifelike sensation back into the mind, back into the body. We can take a deep breath in through the nose, draw that breath, fill up the lungs, bring that breath into the belly. And then exhale gently, sigh, release that breath away. Whenever you're ready, keeping the eyes closed, allow yourself to roll over onto one side of the mat. It doesn't matter too much which side. Maybe let the head rest in the crook of an elbow as you enjoy these final moments of stillness, of peace, and ease. From here, whenever you are ready, gently press up into an easy seated position. Let one leg cross on top of the other. Let your sit bones root down, connect to the mat. We'll start with the palms of the hands resting on the inner thighs. Whenever you're ready, inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky. Press the palms of the hands together. And exhale, release your hands to your heart center. Thank you so much for sharing in your practice with me today. It is a blessing to see each and every single one of you on the mat. And all that is full of love and light within me honors and recognizes all that is full of that love and light and good within you. Namaste. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. I can't wait to see you on the mat again sometime soon.